This is going to be a complete guide to figuring out what you're going to do with your money after you get your paycheck. Now, a lot of people are going to have trouble with some of the middle steps within the video, but hopefully you're able to pick up some money tips that are going to help you out. If you are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit the like button, you hit the subscribe button, and let's get into it. So the first is going to be before you even get your paycheck, and it's going to be your retirement fund. And if you work a job, you're going to want to be taking 5 to 15% into your 401k or RRSP if you're in Canada. So you may be young and you're going to wonder why you even need a retirement fund, but you don't want to get to your 30s and 40s and 50s and not have any plan going whatsoever. So if you're young, make sure you start. And if your employer doesn't have the 401k or RSP plan, ask them if they can get it. And if you're just going to start a job, make sure you don't opt out of this program. It is an amazing way to start building your money up behind the scenes, even before you're paid, because you're not immediately taxed on that money. So that's known as paying yourself first. The next would be the money comes into your bank account. Now, if you get money that's in cash or a check, you're going to want to ask for direct deposit to go into your bank account. When I was a brand new real estate agent, I used to get my paper copy of my checks, and I thought it was really cool because they bring the check all the way down to the bank. The problem is with that, it takes up a lot of time and the money's just not there. You know, on this channel, we like to automate everything. So ask your employers for direct deposit. It makes your life a lot easier. And once the money's in your account, you're going to be paying off your minimum balances on your credit cards and paying a lot of your loans. And the best way to do this is set up automated payments for it within your bank account. This way you're never going to miss a payment and then your credit won't get dinged. This is going to be very bad for when you're applying for loans later on, so you want to make sure your credit's good, so you don't want to miss these minimum payments on any cards. And this brings us to the next part. It's figuring out your needs versus your wants. What would our needs be? It's going to be your food, your shelter, your transportation, utilities you have to pay. If you're in the States, you have to pay your health care. Now, this is not going to be going out and trying to buy a $1,200 Tom Ford suit. It's going to be paying what's going to keep you alive, and this is where your money has to go to first. And it's not going to be going to any expensive watches until you have all the necessary needs paid for. Watches are wants. You don't get to the watches until you have all the basic needs covered. It would just be irresponsible. There's too many people that do this all the time too. Are you buying your PlayStation 5 before you paid your rent? That's a no-no. PlayStation 5 would be a want, while paying your rent would be a need. Buying food would be a need. So sort yourself out first from your paycheck, sorting out all your needs before you go buy your little toys. The next would be to set up an emergency fund, and you can make this as little as $2,500, but I'd suggest to try to get it more to $10,000. And you want this to be extremely liquid. Think spy movie, that you got to get out of a situation, you're going to need some money. But if you keep it in a bank account, make sure that the interest rate is at least keeping up with inflation. And depending on where you are, it might be hard to find these days. There's more strategies later on in the video of what you can do to make more money with your money. So stick around for that. And you can also have this in cash, but be careful having $10,000 cash within your house, because if anyone finds out about it, bad things could happen. But that is an option if you feel safe enough to do that. And the emergency fund is for things like if your car breaks down and you need your car to get to work. This becomes an emergency. Again, it's not to go out and buy a vacation for your family. It is an emergency fund, and you want to keep that liquid set aside so that it can bail you out of a jam. After you have your emergency fund set aside, you're going to want to start tackling your debt. So this is going to be debt repayment. And there's going to be 2 different ways you can do this. Let's say you have 5 different types of debt. And a couple examples would be like you have car insurance, credit card bill, and a few others. What you're going to want to do is possibly the snowball method. And for the snowball method, you want to take the lowest amount that you have to pay and get rid of it. Pay that one first, so that now if you had 5 debts, you can get it down to 4 debts. And it's just going to psychologically help you out a lot to remove a debt. And eventually you're going to take out the 4th debt, then the 3rd debt. The second one would be the avalanche method. And what you want to do is figure out all your debts and which ones have the highest interest rate. Now, if you have a credit card debt, it's probably going to be a 20% APR on that. So that's probably going to be the one that you're going to want to take out first. Mark Cuban says, make sure you pay your debt off first. That's your best investment you could ever make, because if your credit card bill is getting you negative 20%, it's going to take a lot of investments to get a positive 20%. So the best debt you can do is pay off your credit card debt, which is probably your top debt. So try out the avalanche method and see if that works for you. So now comes a really fun part. After you've paid off all those debts, you're going to want to save up 4 months, 8 months, 12 months, a year's worth of income from your job. This won't be easy at first, but you're just gonna have to start putting money aside, $10, $25, $100 all the time. We do this strategy in investment properties all the time. We want to at least have 3 months worth of rent saved up in case the tenants don't pay. Just like you're gonna want to have, 4 months, 6 months worth of your income saved up in case you lose your job, and you won't be panicking and you don't have to go out and get a job tomorrow. You're gonna be able to take some time and figure out your next game plan because you have this money set aside that you've been saving over time, and you're not gonna panic right away. You're gonna have access to these funds. If you got this money in the bank, you're going to want it to keep up at least with inflation. So look around for bank accounts that are going to keep up with inflation. Otherwise, you're just going to be losing money by saving this money. There's going to be more advanced strategies, and this would be, once you've done all those other steps, it'd be to get into investing, and it's the part I love. And if you guys know me, you know I love to real estate invest. And that can be real estate, it can be buying stocks, it can be buying bonds, but it's just going to be finally getting into investing. So you have to cover all those other steps before you can actually start investing. And it's kind of what I've done myself right now. I have at least a year's worth of income that's invested out. I have access to it if I need be, but it's making me money while it's out there. And it's doing better than the banks because I'm private lending. If you're interested in private lending, I do have a link in the description that goes over my private lending for my corporation. So if it's right for you, you can fill out the survey and we'll contact you if we're a fit. But if you don't want to do that, just keep your money in your bank account. Make sure it's keeping up with inflation. So once you start investing, finally, now is the time you can actually go on your dream vacations with your families. But don't be going on these until you reach all these steps. Too many people make these mistakes. They go on their dream vacations way too early and they're never going to get to this area where they should be investing their money. So do all those steps, invest your money, and then take the time to buy whatever you want and go on the dream vacations. A lot of people have trouble with money management, and that's why you got to pay yourself first. And you pay yourself first by investing into yourself. Another way is to invest. Once you have money, you can invest into different ways to do passive income. I have passive income videos on this channel. Now, if you have trouble to get to any of these steps, especially towards the end, you're going to have to probably look for a side hustle. Now, you're finished work at say 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you still have all those hours left in the day to try to create some money. You might only have a salary that's paying you $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, but there's more money to be made. It's just going to take a lot of work after work. You're going to have to figure out who you want to be. Is it the person that just wants to sit on the couch and drink some beers? Comment down below if that's what sounds good to you. But if you're the person that wants to be a little bit more motivated, are you the person that shoots a YouTube video late on a Friday night? Or are you the person that goes out with your friends and then cries about money? So depending on who you want to be, that is an option. I do have videos about side hustles that I'll link as well. They give you guys some ideas of ways to grind after work to make a little bit more money. And that's going to help you guys do all these steps, pay off some of the debts, pay off credit card debts, do everything else, start investing. And that's what we want to do on this channel, is teach you guys how to be investors as well. So if you are new here, make sure you guys consider subscribing and share this video with somebody that needs to see these tips. And if you want to get over and follow me on Instagram, I post there every single day. So get over and follow me on Instagram at Jeff Wybo and be part of the action over there. Send me a DM, I always respond. And we'll catch you guys on my next video. Thanks everyone.